Hello again. Hello. Today is Saturday the 12th. Yes. And we finished. This is kind of the last day of like the pre-lab. Yeah. That was coming the week before the 2 weeks of the actual WordBRIDGE Playwrights Laboratory. So we talked today to David White and Mark Charney, the two artistic directors, and asked them kind of what they thought, to sum up their thoughts on the week, and a few thoughts about the weeks to come. So take a look.
Well, I tell you, I'm glad you asked that, Matt, because you know, the Clemson play since 2007, the Clemson play has been developed right alongside of all the other plays. So I think I was a little apprehensive to see how a pre-show development sort of play would work, and it worked beautifully. For one thing, I think that having the artists who were in the play and working around it were dedicated, because we were sort of centrally focused on just one event. And even though we were spending all of our time you know, getting ready and doing name tags and doing trips over to the dorm to get the stuff ready, this was our one creative event that took the better part of our day, 4-hour rehearsals. A lot of artists, and a lot of them students, who cared very deeply about what they were doing and had a lot of talent to back it up. And so in the long run, I think that the Clemson play was beautifully served, and with the fact that they have 3 more rehearsals and you know, maybe 2 more readings or 4 more rehearsals and a reading, I'm excited.
Well, I thought we had a really great kind of pre-lab week of work on Ascension War, of really getting to know each other. What I'm thrilled about the first week was that a company, a smaller company within the larger company, was really formed. And that was formed among all of the student artists that were working here, as well as giving them the connections and the bridges into the larger community through them getting to know Will and Michelle and myself and Mike and Rebecca, and really using that camaraderie that I really feel has been built during Ascension War as a way to find an identity within the larger community.
The next 2 weeks, you sort of get unstuck in time, because it'll all be over before we know it, but it'll seem like the longest 2 weeks of your life. And now maybe that's from an artistic director perspective, but I think it's definitely from a playwright perspective. 24 hours of rehearsal seems like a lot, but there's a lot to be done. I don't know, I think that when we have 6 projects here working all at once, and maybe 7 when Kitchen begins too, we're going to be busier. We had the calm before the storm, and we could focus singularly on one project, put it that way.
And to be honest with you, at 5:15 this evening, as we were preparing for the large orientation with everybody in the company circle, I was like, I'm just going to walk in there and do this thing. This has already started. It's already going. And that was such a great feeling to really know that the foundation had been laid, and now is the time for us to build our house. We're really excited to be able to look at and survey a much wider group of writers as we begin to evolve. Rich's mission and vision for WordBRIDGE was a place where we could begin to bridge the idea that exists in the playwright's mind with the world, and putting them in conversation, not with just other theater artists, but the other artists coming from various disciplines and various fields, to be able to create a world around the play and not just a world of theater around the play, to begin to talk about the play in other terms, in other ways, to begin to visualize what it is that the writer has put on the page. We're thrilled as we continue this mission and continue to work on this to bring in new initiatives. Eric Ramsey is working with some of the most innovative dramaturgical tools that we've heard in terms of data mining, in terms of improvisation. We're trying to introduce new models and new modes into the way that we communicate with our artists. We're trying to explore different ways. We see ourselves in a laboratory in kind of the very finest sense of that term. Laboratories work behind closed doors because what we're working on needs to be brave, it needs to be bold, it needs to be courageous. For the week ahead, I don't know what to say. I'm excited about now. I think that WordBRIDGE for me puts me very much in the present tense, but I'm really looking forward to seeing these plays in Playwright. The playwrights are all really engaged and engaging and open to possibility. Our visual artist is here and is already creating art. I walked by a room, she's already in there before we did orientation, cutting and pasting and drawing, and like I'm going, wow, this has really begun. So I'm anxious to see what comes of all of this energy in one place, kind of pouring out of all of our souls and all of our minds. And I think the next week is going to be pretty exciting. I think the next week is going to be invigorating, recharging, and I hope that through all of it we're all able to realize that art can do things beyond entertain us. It can bring us together, it can show us ourselves, and it can give us a chance to show other people some worlds that they might not have seen before.